Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're gonna be talking about the forest. So Markiplier just posted his first video about the forest where he played with Bob and Wade and he made the first part of the playthrough. And I figured a lot of people are gonna watch that video and they're gonna want to go try that game out for themselves. So instead of jumping out of the plane and just beating rocks with rocks and lighting rocks on fire and just burning yourself and killing yourself immediately, I'm gonna help you out. This video is a mix between a guide and some tips that should shine a bit of light on what you should do as soon as you get the fuck out of that shitty ass plane. Keep in mind I will not spoil the story of this game. Alright, let's get into it. So if for some reason you don't know what the forest is, again just doesn't make sense, but the Forest is a survival game that came out a long while ago, and what makes this game special compared to other survival games is the game's story. This story is uncomparable. Again, it has won multiple awards, and this game is the sweet spot between horror and survival and story. This game is extremely fun to play with friends, highly recommend you try it. Again, it's only $20 on Steam, it goes on a lot of sales, and Christmas is upcoming, so you can actually buy it on the Christmas sale probably. Anyway, enough talking about the game, let's just get straight into the tips. The plane has just crashed. You walk out, you're beating your axe against the floor. You have no idea what's happening. You're a fucking moron. Where's the lamb sauce? So instead of being that guy, let's see what we need to do as soon as we get out of the plane. As soon as you open your eyes, make sure to loot all the plane and what's around the plane. You're going to find an axe stuck in a woman's chest for some random reason. Keep in mind you have to eat all the food on the plane because it's gonna be hard to find your first batch of food. So look around the plane, eat all the food, pick up all the sodas and pick up all the bows. Now if you open your inventory, you're gonna see something that's called bows. It's like a black bottle. Do not drink this. If you're thirsty, don't drink that. That is more useful for when you need medics or when you need healing and for making molotovs. Don't drink that, honestly. So you stood up and you're all okay and you have no internal bleeding and your spine is not misplaced. Alright, that's good. The first thing you're gonna want to do is find a good location for your base. So guess what? You're gonna start walking. Now your spawning in the forest is randomized, so I can't really tell you what direction to go. Just whatever you do, don't go towards the left side. That's the end of the map. Go towards the right side. If you keep walking, you should come across a lot of foresty areas and maybe a shore, if you're lucky. Now to find a good place for your first base, you need to make sure that the area is filled with trees, has nearby lakes so that you can provide yourself with enough water to survive, and is overall safe. Now the don'ts over here is do not pick a flat area because getting logs towards it is going to be extremely hard, and do not build on the shore since there is no nearby resources. And by the way, you can't drink seawater, or maybe you can, who makes the rules? So after roaming around for a long time and possibly coming across the shore by accident and walking over some other things, you might come across a cave. Make sure to mark these. These are going to be extremely helpful since looting them can give you a lot of good equipment. To mark the cave, all you have to do is build a stick marker, which requires the most basic resources: sticks, stones, a couple leaves, and one cloth, which you can find from the bags that you looted next to the plane. Oh, you forgot to loot the bags? So anyway, make sure to mark the cave so that you can come back to it later. After that, keep wandering around until you find the perfect spot, and I actually came across a huge lake, and so I decided to walk to the right side of it and build somewhere around there. And I came across a smaller lake which was perfect, so I decided to build there. A couple things that you should watch out for when you build your first base are that there has to be a lot of trees around you, there has to be a small lake next to you so that you can provide yourself with water and the first batch of food, and that getting resources should be pretty easy to you. Now to build your first house, specifically tree house, yes, we are indeed going to build a tree house. The reason being, cannibals can't actually climb up to your tree house, only you can. All they could do is climb up to nearby trees to look at you. Also, you'll have an advantage, because you got the high ground. So find a thick tree surrounded by other trees, and build the tree house on there. Now be careful, you have to do this systematically. So let's say I built my tree house right there, take out all the trees in the surrounding circumference, and then expand that circumference and take out all those trees, just so that you can use up all the space that you're provided. Now speaking about taking out trees, make sure to remove the tree trunks as soon as possible. Tree trunks will attract a lot of cannibals, especially if you're already spotted, so make sure to get the trees out and take out the trunks. There we go, good job, you've actually built your first base now. Wow, you're not that much of a moron after all. After that, we're gonna build some tools. And this all revolves around tools that will help you be way more efficient and do things way faster. The first thing we're gonna build is the log sled, which, as the name implies, is a sled that can carry a huge amount of logs or resources. So let's say this wall needed like 19 logs. I'll just go into the forest, grab a couple logs, slap them on this sled and just walk back. You don't have to carry twice at a single time. Now the lock sled is pretty helpful, but what's even more helpful is the water collector. Now yes, I know you have a lake next to you, but you can't always rely on the lake, so sometimes you're gonna have cannibals waiting outside and you're not gonna have health. You really shouldn't risk it. So when you build a single water collector, you're gonna collect a lot of water as soon as it rains. But you know what's better than one water collector? More water collectors. More water collectors equals more batches of water every single time it rains. So instead of getting one batch of water every time it rains, you can actually get like 5 or 6. After building the water collector, you now need to build an axe so that you can cut down trees way faster. The axe will also give you strength, which eventually, if you have enough strong, you can cut down trees way faster. After the axe, we want to build something for the offense. So make sure to build a bow. A bow will help you take out cannibals from a way faster distance. The bow is 1 shot to the head and 4 shots to the body. Also, you can pick your bows back up and you can find them in nearby campfires. Or you can build your own, it's up to you. So we've built the first basic tools. Now, here's the scary part. You gotta explore the caves. Exploring the caves is extremely important because when you explore your caves, you're gonna be able to pick up really good equipment from them. Hear me out. One of the caves will actually help you get the modern axe, which is way better than the classical axe that you've just built, and it gives you more strong. Another cave can actually find you the katana, which I will gladly argue that is the second strongest weapon in the whole game. The katana is one of the fastest weapons in the game, and it's extremely helpful, deals a lot of damage. You're going to need it in the beginning of the game. After that, find the chainsaw. The chainsaw is going to help you cut down trees way faster so that you can build multiple things in a way quicker manner than you used to with the axe. However, keep in mind the chainsaw does take up fuel, which you can actually find around cannibal campfires. After that, make sure you look for the cave with the flashlight, because the torch is extremely helpful, but as soon as you run out of cloth, you're done for. So the flashlight will use up some batteries, but it will shine a light and tell you where to go. Well now, basically you're all independent in the forest and you're all okay. But what comes after the basics is upgrades. The first upgrade you should have already done, or you should do right now, to your base is the defensive wall. There's a section that contains defensive walls that the cannibals can't climb over or can't jump onto. Build these all around your base. It's always best to not build squares. It's best to build pentagons just because you can use up the space way better. After that, you're feeling a bit risky, you're feeling like you're undefeated, go for the blueprints. The blueprints are extra things that you can build that you discover on your own, and some of the blueprints include a tower and wingsuit, which we are going to build. The tower, however, requires a bit more logs than you think. This fat fuck requires 320 to build a simple tower. But you know what? It's worth it. And here's why. After you build the wingsuit, which is another blueprint that you can find, you're going to be able to use that tower to get wherever you want on the map without having to walk or run or deal with cannibals. For example, you could build a tower all the way at the snow area and have your base on the other side of the map, and you'll still be able to make it there, no problem. Now after building your massive dig structure and your big fat wings to fly around the map, you're gonna need some defenses for yourselves, so make sure to equip armor or build some. If you take a cannibal and slap him on a campfire, you'll burn all his flesh and his bones will remain. If you take those bones and put them together, you can actually make something called bone armor. Bone armor is extremely helpful against cannibals, but when you have to face the big mutants, you need the mutant armor. And to get the mutant armor, you need to kill at least one mutant. After you kill the first mutant, you can pick up and loot their armor, and that is way stronger than bone armor. I think one mutant armor is equivalent to 4 or 5 bone armor. And the last upgrade that you should do before going on your own and just doing exotic things is pick a different location for a second base, because sometimes you'll be exploring caves and it'll be nighttime and it'll be too late to go to your first base and you'll be too far from the tower, so you always need a base that's in between for backups. Now a couple bonus tips that I'm gonna give you are extremely simple yet extremely helpful. Always remember that if a tree falls on your pre-built structure, it's going to destroy it. So trees always fall in the direction that you're looking, so make sure to cut them away from your base. Also, one of the best sources of food is actually cannibals, because you can chop up their legs and just eat them, and okay, you lose a bit of sanity, but as soon as you find meds, you could just take them and you'll be a-okay. Now go on, enjoy the game, you're going to love it. I highly recommend that you play this game with a friend. It is extremely enjoyable. I'm actually about to post one of my finishes to the game, and I played it with one of my best friends, and it was extremely fun. If you enjoyed this content, I'm just trying to know what you guys want to watch, so please take the time out of your day to drop a comment below and tell me that you enjoyed this video, or maybe you didn't enjoy it. Tell me how I can be better. Feel free to subscribe or not, it's all up to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.